listening, I told you it was going to be a great match. So you saw a great match. For by far the best red-white we've ever had here since I've been here. And both teams played some great volleyball, and it was fun to watch. And I think our fans got their money's worth. And I think our players feel pretty good about where they're at right now and the hard work they've put in getting to this point, and they were able to go out there and perform. Sometimes the red-whites can get really ugly and sloppy, and but it was some really good volleyball.
Coach, what do you think was driving that competitiveness tonight?
These guys love to compete, and you just look at, where it starts on Laney is a heck of a competitor. Lexi's a heck of a competitor. Those guys are touching the ball. Kennedy and Bergen are great competitors. They touch the ball the most as well, and I just think it filters out from there. You see Becca was ready to kill a referee tonight. We have to get the referee a bodyguard. But you can just, because they're playing with fire. It's like this every day. It's awesome.
What does it say about this team that for such competitive sets, and especially the last one, White having that huge comeback?
Yeah, we tried to make the teams as even as we could, and this is a repeat from Thursday in practice. We did games to rehearse for this so they would be more comfortable, and it came right down. Every game was deuce, and the last game came down to 2 points. So this is just a repeat of Thursday's practice. That's why I felt pretty confident that this was going to be a heck of a match. And that was a great comeback by the White team. It just shows you also their competitiveness and their, nobody quits. And so this is this group gets after it.
Sort of that method, Coach, of putting the teams together, just pairing up new and old, or?
There was really, we rotated all the middles since there's only 3, so we just rotated them. And we just kind of tried to make, hey, what we think would be the most balanced lineups, and that's what we did Thursday, and it was so competitive, so we just repeated it again today. I can't tell you, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who our starting lineup is Friday. We got some big decisions to make.
You said tonight would go a long way to determining that. Did it help you at all, what you saw out there?
A little bit. And we didn't max out a lineup tonight. You can only play with 6 Friday, not so. So we got some options that we could do, but we'll have to work on that this week and figure out what's our best. And it always comes down to who our 6 best servers and who can pass. That's going to be a lot of it. Who can we rely on passing?
Do the NCAA rules still allows you to use the grad managers to play something like this? If you want it?
No, not the grad managers. Our practice players can. Yeah.
So
Jalen played last year because we were signing today for 2 hours, and everybody was asking him if he was going to play tonight.
What's it like that you don't need to use?
That's awesome. I can remember some years like 13, 14, 15 in there. I think we played. We could play. We wouldn't have to use practice players or coaches. So it's pretty nice. But that's what it was like going to Brazil too. We could. Our practices were going at it with each other, just like today.
You were watching the game from the end of the bench. Was that a different perspective for you watching the match there and sitting down?
Yeah, I a little bit different perspective. I'm just this is what I'm trying to figure out is this group is very competitive. So I don't know if they need a coach that's in their face and trying to get them to be more competitive. It's almost like we got to make sure they stay calm and they get amped up, so I'm just trying to figure out what's the best way to do that and just kind of watch and observe.
Is this the first time you've had to kind of do something like that?
No, there's been other years I've let the assistants coach.
When was that, the last time?
I don't remember. A few years ago, before COVID, I know I did a few times. It just all depends on, what our makeup is. If we got a team with, X players and we're mixing up, putting a coach in there, then I'll spend the time with the team that's has all of our players. But tonight it was just let Kelly and Jalen get some experience and kind of just watch and observe. And I interacted with the fans, which was cool, and interacted with the student section. Met a bunch of them today. They're a bunch of freshmen, and asking them where they're from and getting them fired up for the season. I think they probably liked it. I got a group picture with them, so that's pretty cool. I must be okay.
I apologize that you would ask this already, but what did you think of Andy Jackson tonight, just kind of what we saw from her?
Andy's, you can see she's a great athlete. She does some unbelievable things, and then she will have a couple errors that you're like, okay, you don't need to hit that ball that hard, that far out. So she's learning though. Man, she's a worker and wants to be great, but you can see her athleticism is off the charts.
You're evaluating who starts, what's the balance of past performance and the last 2 weeks of practice and then tonight?
It'll be a combination of those. So I have stats on week 1, week 2 combined. We'll combine stats tonight and Thursday's deal. We'll kind of look at that, and we got to figure out where to play certain people. You know, the outside hitters, and where to play the middles. So we'll look at who they hit off of, what rotations they hit best out of, and again, we'll build everything starting with passing. Everything will be built around that, because if you can pass, you can do a lot of good things. So
Okay.
I've got to go look at that stats, but we stat them every day.
Of the outsides, who's been the best passers?
It depends on the day. I don't know if anybody's really stood out. I know probably the person that in the first 2 weeks that was up there the highest was Hayden. She's been very consistent passing. She's not always the best, but she never goes down. She's always just kind of right there. And there's other days some of those guys are great, and then they're more up and down. So that's why we'll look over time, because it's a long season. They got to perform in a long match and over a long season.
Final questions? Pretty solid comeback from the white team there almost in that final set. I mean, does that tell you anything about sort of the tenacity of the team as we get closer to the start of the season?
Tells you everything. They could have just packed that thing. It's a red-white. They could have packed that thing in, but they didn't. It was beautiful. If we sat down and wrote a screenplay for today, couldn't have done it any better. And that's what I would script that out, right there. Deuce games, big comeback. Even though one team won 3-1, but it could have gone either way. Those first 2 games, and then of course I can't remember if it was white team or red team won that 3rd game. So couldn't have scripted any better.
You had said during the Big Ten media days that the dog is going to bite while it's a pup regarding some of the young players. I mean, you had a great game from Murray and a few of the other younger people. You talked about Chaboy. I mean, you ready? Or do you feel this young group is ready to take a bite out of the Big Ten?
You tell me. I mean, we'll see when we get there, but these guys compete and they're not afraid of anything. They want to win. So I'll say that. I don't know how our matches will go. These guys want to win in the worst way. So that's why they're so much fun to be around. They want to win. Doesn't matter what drill it is, what day it is, they want to win. And you saw a great example tonight.
John, there's stat-wise, Bergen really spread out the attacks around while Kenny was more on Lindsay. Do you think that describes how they both individually run an offense, or do you think that's how it just naturally developed?
I have to go back and look at the tape, of Kennedy, who passing, you got to remember, I don't know if you guys know, game 1 we did what was called Blast the Bro. So we were trying to serve both bros every ball game 1. Well, Lexi passes pretty good, although we aced her twice. So she's not used to that, so we wanted to get her uncomfortable a little bit. So sometimes on that, if the passing's better, it's easier to run a balanced offense. But that was our goal going in for both of them to have a balanced offense.
More questions?
Okay, guys, thanks.